Hold up real quick before we jump in the news. I just want to do a quick thing. And with that signature, I officially only have 2 more boxes of the 10,000 in sheets I have had to sign for the Neon Ghost Kickstarter. So if you would like to celebrate the end of my hand being in pain when I sign the last box in just one sitting, I'm going to do it here live on the channel. I can't tell you exactly when that will be because I still have to get through a box, but I'll be doing it here with you all. And if you would like to get one of these signed editions of Neon Ghost, go ahead and just follow the link here or the one down in the description, and you can late back the project, which a shocking number of you have done. Thank you so much. But without any further ado though, let's go ahead and jump on into the news. Welcome everybody to another episode of My Goblin Light Burned Out, and I'm very sad about it. Today we have probably the most heated I am going to be getting in the fantasy news this year. But first, we're gonna go ahead and get into some happy book reveal news because I'd always like to kick it off on a positive note. The first of which is going to be the cover for The Engineer, the second book in the Last Horizon series by Will Wicht, and with cover art by Simon Carr. I'm covering this also as a way to tell my audience Will Wicht is on my list of authors to try and get further into their catalog of the bibliography in 2024. I believe I've done the first 2 or 3 books of the Cradle series, so should I continue with that series if I'm not vibing with it a whole lot yet, or should I jump on over to The Last Horizon? I'm curious to see what people have to say because everyone keeps saying Cradle just gets better and better. I don't want to like jump ship too soon. I don't know. Let me know what I should do in the comments down below. But on the flip side of the news, we've also had an announcement from Tor when it comes to the workings of author Niveau, because we've had a cover reveal for The Brides of High Hill, as well as hearing there have been 3 new novellas signed from the author that should be coming in 2025. But The Brides of High Hill is set to be released May of 2024. Just to be clear though, if you're a fan of this series, the novellas are standalone stories linked by the cleric Chi and may be read in any order. The Brides of High Hill, though, is described as a complete standalone. They said, Niveau's Hugo Award Singing Hills cycle returns with a standalone gothic mystery that unfolds in the Empire of On. And building out a world this way is something I'm kind of just interested in as a writer right now, so Niveau's stuff has just been up my reading list, but you know, there's still so much in either direction. It's a never-ending just pile of books. Rolling on into the special edition news, one of the most popular books with it by audience, I think based off one of my reviews in terms of just me seeing the number of people that like clicked the link and bought it after I did the review, Gunmetal Gods is officially getting its deluxe edition over on Kickstarter, written by Zamil Akhtar. This book definitely hit with a different flavor when I first read it, and I think that absolutely still stands up now. So if you would like to check out Gunmetal Gods and you have not, I just recommend you do. And if you're already a fan, this deluxe edition, you know what, I'll give it the best compliment I can. It's looking like it actually earns the label deluxe edition. Looking at all you big publishers who are getting outdone by smaller publishers and indie authors left and right for special editions, no one will disagree with me on that who's been paying attention. The Broken Binding has also announced who will be the artist helming their upcoming Malazan run, and I'm excited to say it's actually going to be Felix Ortiz, who I have worked with in the past and whose covers I maintain are some of the best in the genre. Felix Ortiz is a master of his craft in terms of capturing tone, and hearing he is going to be hooked up with Malazan just feels like 2 things I really enjoy coming together for a smoochy. And apparently Patrick Reeds, congratulations, is going to be involved with helping them make decisions for the artwork. It's so badass to see someone else in the booktube space stepping in as a fan to be like, hey, I think I know what people are going to see here, so trust me. Brilliant. Absolutely. I'm down. Let's see how this develops. So cool. Now, though, I'm going to say some stuff that's going to lose me some subscribers, and that's fine, because the book ban plague that has been spreading across America, almost entirely aimed at LGBTQ+ authors, is now getting so severe it's affecting the likes of Scholastic. And I don't think Scholastic's solution to this problem is perfect, but they've certainly been dealt a shite hand. And there's a whole lot of different angles that need to be talked about with this specific problem, with how book bans don't solve issues. But what I just want to say, as clearly and with my chest as possible, the reason you ban a book is because you're afraid of what it has to say. And unless a book is just explicitly pornographic, removing it from schools for any reason is beyond dumb. I also feel terrible for those of humble faith who don't want their faith weaponized for bigotry, who have to sit down and watch people act like they are actually preaching Christian values when they are trying to just be bigots. Because let's be honest, if you're trying to just shut down LGBTQ+ authors, you're just a bigot who's afraid of their voice, and you don't even have the common decency or respect for them to be honest about why you're doing what you're doing, and instead you try and take this angle of protecting the children when you don't do anything legislatively to actually protect children, aside from this grandstanding bullshit over issues you're just a hateful asshole over. There is nothing wrong with anyone of any age learning about the existence of the LGBTQ+ community and their perspective on the world, because despite what so many awful people in this world want to say, LGBTQ+ voices of anyone of all ages, races, creeds are equally valid and should be heard. And the fact that you're trying to silence this specific group on face value shows you do not think of them as human and a part of the same group as yourself. You are part of the problem, and you for trying to push this shit in 2023. Is the same people who are pushing for these bans were reading books with equally explicit straight romance in them when they were young, and it's purely the gay aspect of it that they have a problem with now, and that's why they're cracking down on it. Like, you can't even hide the hate that moves this stuff forward. So you're hiding behind a kid when in reality, anyone with a brain just sees you're a bigot who's just trying to hurt people you personally hate. Everyone sees through it. No one falls for that lie. Because you people don't even want to pay for kids' lunches. You don't care about children. We know that. Disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Please dislike and unsubscribe. I don't want you around if you support this. Banning a book does not stop the book's power. It just announces you can't handle what the book says and genuinely argue against it. I do not want to take away any religious texts I disagree with at all from any library or school. Because one, I believe in your freedom to read and consume whatever you want, and two, even if I disagree with something, I believe it should be available for open discussion, and I'm actually willing to talk to my potential future kids about that. Amazing concept, right? Anyway, let's shake off that massive amount of unpleasantness and slide on into some pretty cool adaptation news, because the live-action adaptation of Avatar over at Netflix has given us our first look at its live-action Fire Nation cast, and despite my overall hesitance with this adaptation, I'm not gonna lie, this looks pretty darn good to me. I really like the costuming for Iroh. Ozai looks intimidating as hell. Azula, just with that expression, certainly see the potential there. And I know Iro, the meme of me mispronouncing it here on the channel, probably died a long time ago, is getting a lot of the attention and approval because that beard is stunning. But Zuko, I'm also really surprised with how well this looks overall. They haven't really strayed from the source material, and it's standing up in this live action interpretation brilliantly. It's almost like M. Night Shyamalan was wrong to change a whole lot about that. In other awesome anime news, we've also had the English voice cast announced for the latest Ghibli film, The Boy and the Heron, and it's debatably their most star-studded cast yet, with names included like Christian Bale, Dave Bautista, Gemma Chan, Willem Dafoe, Karen Fukuhara, I think I said that right, Mark Hamill, Robert Pattinson, and Florence Pugh. That is some goddamn heavy hitters, though it's worth note Ghibli has had a long legacy of just incredible English voice cast coming in for their work, because who wouldn't want to voice a Ghibli film? In possibly bad news for the future of streaming, Netflix has had one of its best financial updates in recent memory, coming away from what some people were exaggeratingly considering a death spiral for Netflix. Now that their password sharing crackdown is in effect, they have gained 9 million subscribers in Q3, and the ad-supported plan is up nearly 70% from Q2. And I would just like to congratulate the corporate world for slowly morphing streaming into being just as expensive and inconvenient as cable was, with just the ability to opt out by paying more of all the discomforts of cable. It went full circle back to the annoying terribleness of cable. Oh my god. I know streaming certainly has many advantages, but right now I can't really feel those after just seeing Netflix's plan that I disliked so much work so well. I'm just happy to say that my ad-filled future that I predicted in Neon Ghosts seems to be coming to fruition. In a world with vampires, that was the actual nightmare angle I was trying to go for. Ads being in your dreams. It's not that unbelievable now, is it? In more fun time news, we got the full-length trailer for season 2 of Invincible, and it looks pretty darn spectacular. I'm really excited for this. And in a homegrown YouTube story, I'm actually pretty excited to talk about here. We have gotten a first teaser-esque trailer for a Markiplier project titled Iron Lung, which is apparently a game that was made by a single developer Markiplier paid and liked so much that he is now involved with this adaptation of. And I've never been a huge Markiplier fan. I have nothing against the guy. Just gaming content here on YouTube hasn't ever really been my thing, and from what I understand, that's largely what he's done over the years. But this trailer was actually pretty cool, and it's just always interesting to me to see how bold YouTubers who have vast resources and not a lot of the constraints creatively those resources often come with can be now. It gives me hope creatively for the future in a time where we're often told that we shouldn't have that. Yay and neat, and I would like to just bring attention to what seems to be a creator doing something pretty neat. In our second to last piece of trailer news though, we have seen Hugh Howey land another adaptation of his work with Beacon 23, starring Lena Headey and Stephen James. And then finally we got a tech display from Apple TV in the guise of a Godzilla franchise series coming to the platform, titled Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. And I kid about the tech demo angle of it. This is a massive franchise that has tons of fans I'm sure are totally pumped. But that final shot of Godzilla in daylight really just felt like a message from Apple of being like, look, we don't need to hide Godzilla in shadow. We can make him look great in a TV show in broad daylight. Nice. Will the show have consistently tons of shots of broad daylight Godzilla? It's too soon to say. But in general, credit where credit's due. Apple TV CG for Foundation and the like has just been head and shoulders, I think, above a lot of the streaming service CG competition in general. So yeah, if you are a big old Godzilla fan who wants to see him step into the sunshine for a change, go ahead and check out this trailer down below. You didn't think we were gonna end the fantasy news without promoting an indie author though, did you? Without any further ado, let's talk about some self-published books. A Touch of Light by Thiego Abdallah. Book 1 in the Ashes of a Varan series. An SPFBO finalist from last year, pitched as a spiraling epic fantasy where religion and politics are one. Griffin riders roam the skies, and a looming blight threatens to tear everything down. Lynn, a rogue Griffin rider, has uncovered a deadly madness that threatens to destroy the domain. She can't escape this enemy, but to fight it, Lynn must risk being found and branded a traitor by her old order. Prince Adrian has never been pious or on good terms with his father. After losing those closest to him, however, he must either work with the king or convince the church to deem his loved ones worthy if they are to have a chance at resurrection. In the Clanlands, where death is considered a necessity, Nasha fights to prove she belongs. A cursed hunter and a lifelong outcast, she has always struggled. But when the land itself begins to wither away, Nasha might be the only answer. Before we end things though, I just want to give a quick shout out to one of the editors I work with, Ben, who previously released a phenomenal video essay on Everything Everywhere All at Once I promoted here on the channel, and he has followed that up with a video essay on the first 10 minutes of The Heights. And while I had not even heard of this project before Ben's video, it's now like must watch before the end of the weekend for me because of how well he talked about just his adoration of the opening of it. So if you want to check that out, link of course down below. But this has just been your latest episode of Fantasy News. Like and subscribe if you have not already, and hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.